Imagine the Philippines 50 years from now. What do you see? Is it a fully developed country? Is it free from harmful and toxic air? Maybe by that time, the world will become warmer. The trees will go bald. The climate change will get worse. And there will be a lot of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas in the air. Scary, right?
Now let's go back to the present. Have you experienced multiple power outages? Are you aware that the Philippines is experiencing an energy crisis? In the Philippines, coal makes up 47% of all energy sources, followed by 20% of natural gas and other renewable energies. These energy sources, such as fossil fuels, coal, and oil, causes air pollution, which results in the 27,000 deaths annually and cost the nation up to 1.9% of gross domestic product in lost economic output each year.
Approximately 2.8 million families do not have access to electricity, and about 1.3 million Filipino households may have power interruptions in 2023. According to the 2011 Household Energy Consumption Survey, electricity accounted for around 87% of the 21 million homes' energy usage in the Philippines between March and August of that year. Experiencing such dilemma is a sign that we should switch to more sustainable and clean energy. And this is when nuclear energy comes into play.
When we hear the word nuclear, people will always think about explosions and negative connotations.
It is a risk that many of us are not willing to take. But we cannot deny the benefits.
The nuclear power reactors generate electricity using isotopes or enriched uranium as fuel. Nuclear power is a non-CO2 emitting source of electricity, making them a low-carbon energy source and a reliable alternative to fossil fuels. Therefore, these reactors are essential to meeting climate change objectives.
It does not depend on resources found on politically unstable areas, meaning it is particularly beneficial to homes that cannot afford to pay for expensive electricity.
Philippines' electricity prices are among the highest in Asia. People are at risk of paying considerably more for power as a result of global energy market insecurity and the unpredictability of fossil fuels. The explanation given was the rising cost of coal and natural gas, which are used to generate energy.
Did you know that between 1976 and 1984, the Philippines had a Bataan nuclear power plant, but it was never used due to political resistance and safety concerns. The plant was mothballed and has remained unused since then. There are some concerns that the Philippine archipelago is located within the Pacific Ring of Fire, making it prone to earthquakes and typhoons, which could potentially damage nuclear plants and cause radiation leaks.
There is this common misconception that nuclear radiation, when it comes into contact with people, will make them sick and can develop cancer. Let's debunk this idea. The truth is, nuclear power plants emit minimal amounts of radiation and pose no threat to the public or the environment.
There are main barriers that prevented the Philippines from using nuclear power in the present time, namely, the political barriers. There has been strong opposition from various groups and stakeholders due to safety concerns and fears of nuclear accidents. Policy barriers. There is a lack of clear and comprehensive policies and regulations related to the use of nuclear power in the country. Financial barriers. The high cost of building and operating nuclear power plants is a significant challenge for a developing country like the Philippines. Technical barriers. The lack of technical expertise and infrastructure to support nuclear power generation is also a major obstacle. Environmental barriers. The country's vulnerability to climate change and the lack of infrastructure and technology to safely store and dispose of nuclear waste are additional barriers.
As of now, the Philippines has no operational nuclear power plants. However, there have been discussions and proposals in recent years to explore the possibility of introducing nuclear power as a source of energy in the country. The government has created a task force to study the feasibility of nuclear power and is currently in talks with countries such as Russia and China for possible collaborations on nuclear energy development. However, these plans are still the early stages and faces various challenges and opposition from stakeholders.
Numerous studies have searched for potential locations for nuclear facilities in the Philippines. The National Power Corporation stated that Cagayan is a good location for establishing a nuclear facility. Besides Cagayan, other places are considered suitable locations for establishing the nuclear power plant, including Puerto Princesa, Concepcion, Negros Occidental and Negros Oriental, Zamboanga del Norte, and Picaon Point. This was confirmed by the Nuclear Energy Program Interagency Committee.
Perishment and the death of aquatic life due to eutrophication, radiation, and radioactive waste are considered negative effects of nuclear energy that are drawn into people's minds, making them think that nuclear power is perilous. But nuclear waste is managed following strict safety requirements with no adverse effects on the environment or humans.
The benefits always outweigh the risks since a reliable and predictable output can be obtained from nuclear power.
As opposed to other sources like wind and solar electricity, the weather does not impact it. Nuclear fission generates much more energy when fossil fuel like coal, oil, and gas are burned. As a result of using less material and creating less waste, the process generates over 8,000 times more electricity than other conventional fossil fuel.
It is possible to produce energy year-round since there are no interruptions in the energy supply, which enables good returns on the initial investment.
Nuclear power as a clean energy source. Nuclear power safeguards air quality as it produces fission energy, breaking uranium atoms to release energy. Hence, the harmful byproducts of fossil fuels are no longer present. Nuclear power generates more energy on less land than any other source of clean air. Nuclear power generates very little waste. Nuclear fuel is excessively opaque. It's relatively 1,000,000 times more than of that other country power sources. Nuclear energy is indispensable for extremely minimizing greenhouse gas discharge as it is more conservative than other power sources. Nuclear power emits less radiation into the environment than other primary energy sources. Compared to previous significant industrial mishaps, even the worst-case scenario for a nuclear facility is less devastating. Discarding nuclear excess is absolutely a technical dispute even though it prevails a political matter. The Philippine Department of Energy considers nuclear energy to be a possible long-term energy source. As the country gradually moves towards a clean energy future, it incorporated nuclear energy into its plans to increase the nation's energy security through a variety of energy sources, mainly ecological friendly ones. Meanwhile, nuclear fission could produce electricity at rates unheard of in more conventional energy production techniques in comparison to other sources of power. This is necessary in the modern day because the Philippines' population is continually increasing and so its demand for energy. The Philippines now has the chance to lessen its reliance on fossil fuels and investigate other alternative energy sources, such as nuclear energy, thanks to the importance of energy transition.
The lack of information and public awareness about nuclear power, its benefits, and potential risks have contributed to the strong anti-nuclear sentiment in the country. Therefore, addressing information barriers and promoting public engagement and education about nuclear energy is essential for the Philippines to make informed and sustainable energy choices.
To make these sustainable electricity changes, people should gradually diminish their reliance on the large-scale amount of combustions of fossil fuels for energy production and start considering nuclear energy because it supplies more significant amount of clean, affordable energy required to run industrials and household societies with the most negligible greenhouse gas emissions.
Let us envision the Philippines as a sustainable and clean country with the use of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, the fuel for the future.